Hello, everyone. Oh, I got a community guideline strike, and it was the weirdest community guideline strike I have ever received. They usually tell you why it's medical misinformation, um, and they usually tell you, you know, where in the video you had provided that misinformation. This time, oh, and they email you on your email. Okay. YouTube and telling you, okay, you can't post for a week. You're punished by YouTube. Well, I never got an email, but when I clicked on a video earlier this morning, the first video, I see that, oh, I have a community guideline strike. Never got the email. And misinformation, this was back in like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. Really? Community guideline strikes usually occur within the first 24 hours that you post. Well, for some reason, it was something on the 17th of March, and what is it? I don't know. I have no clue. And they usually have, some information telling you that you can't post for a week. I didn't get that. I know because I tried uploading a video and I know you can't post. But even then, it didn't give me a time period. So I don't know what the hell is going on with this channel of mine. I'm not liking it at all. Not at all. Um, so, hello, everybody. I don't think very many people are here, which I'm not surprised. Hi, Chrissy. It wasn't a copyright strike. But if I get a copyright strike on Never Lose Truth, then it comes down. So it's very, you feel like you just don't know. Okay, I see an awful lot of people posting on information that I might post. I get a community guideline strike. They don't. There's no, it seems very arbitrary. And that's not a good way. It's not a good way to run a business. Well, we're in the new world now. Don't we know it? And I'm glad you did check, Chrissy. I don't think a lot of people have IMAX. And I don't. Why do you keep you keep posting? You've done this for like a week. Even when I've said the link is underneath every single video. Every video. So I don't get it. All right, Andrew Cruz, Jay Northrup. Hi, Kathleen. I'm glad some of you are here. Hi, Patricia White and Sandra. Very glad to see you. Very glad. Even though it's this internet and the cyber world and you're a username on the screen, I'm glad that you're around because, yes, life is definitely getting much harder, you know, for me and for other people. And it's not fun, you know. So many people are talking about how, they feel like joy has been just ripped out of their life. Um, and unfortunately, a lot of fun for a lot of people never was for me. But, well, I will say, yeah, it takes money. For me, I loved having dinner parties. I loved getting people together. And that takes money because you're providing the food for a lot of people. Well, obviously, I can't do that now. But it just feels like, the evil has won the day, and I am not liking it. Hey, Rods. Really, I don't like it. So, maybe some others will show up, and let's get on with it. We've got severe weather. Okay, they brought it back for us, and a whole lot. It looks like a whole lot of the country is experiencing rain. You see the pulsating Doppler radar here in Nebraska. Oh, we got frequencies going, right? This little bend of dots, the dots. A nice pulse in Minnesota, right there. And this is looking very strange for you guys in Northern California, Oregon, and Washington. And a nice, defined circular rain pattern. But what do we have down in here? Georgia. We've got all of these, yes, nanobots activating. Weather modification playlist on this channel. Several videos about nanotechnology in use in our weather. But they're really, Missouri, Kentucky, Ohio, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, and got a nice hit of an extremely low frequency coming out of, that doesn't look like Atlanta, but right into Kentucky. Yes, the frequencies have a whole lot to do with our weather now. Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas. Oh, and you still have them going in pretty much the same area. Well, it's a little south now, but these severe thunderstorms, also Oklahoma. So let's see, we have 14 active severe weather warnings for Kentucky and Maryland and Ohio and Oklahoma and Texas, Virginia, and West Virginia. And Blaine and Kingfisher, Oklahoma, Bath, Fleming, Rowan, Kentucky, and also in Oklahoma, Major and Garfield, Texas. A new one came in for West Virginia, Doddridge, Harrison, Pleasance, Ritchie, and Tyler in West Virginia. And in Texas, you have Childress, Cottle, Hall, Motley, Ohio, Gallia, Meigs, Jackson, Mason, that's Ohio and West Virginia, Jackson, Wirt, and Wood, also Ohio and West Virginia, Fairfax, Prince William, and Stafford, Virginia, and Garrett in Maryland. The special marine warnings are right on up here, Maryland area. Oh man. Washington, also Ohio, Marion, Monongalia, West Virginia, Monongalia, I don't know, Preston. And in Virginia, you've got Bedford and Beauport, Roanoke, and Rockbridge and Roanoke City. So the links are in the chat, but weather-wise, you get more information, and you got flooding warnings still in Western New York, and also down here that's a warning for you guys in Ohio. So you know what to do. You click on the color, right? Click on the color. Severe thunderstorm watch. You want more information? You want to know, the counties and everything, where it is. Then you click on the color and you click on that top right-hand arrow. wind advisory for Indiana, also Illinois, and wind advisory for, what are we looking at? Missouri? No. What are we looking at? We're looking at, well, portions of Arkansas and Mississippi. So yeah, and we're not seeing, though. I hope we don't see. We're not seeing scale, right? Huge destruction of scale. But just in the past couple of days, trees falling on homes, trees falling on cars, power outages, and that just seems to be standard now with our weather. New York, Western New York, got it. They got hit yesterday. That's the hail that does damage. And the streets, there's a number of streets that are closed down.
A rapidly advancing storm line tore across western New York, unleashing powerful hail and fierce winds.
I had sped this up because I just have too much information. But yeah, lots of hail. And I'm sure people, if it didn't bust through the windows, then they have an awful lot of dings in their car, on their car. And the roofs, well, what happens to that? But some places are flooded already and still more flooding to come. Also, your roads got ripped up for some reason every time it rains now. Or, remember when we used to have thunderstorms and it didn't rip up roads all over the place? New York. Western New York, Rochester. Oh, I'm afraid for you guys in Western New York, because I think you're going to get some houses that are going to be flooded. You already have backyards, basements flooded. But man, come on, can't we just stop the weather terrorists? Wouldn't that be nice? I'd love it. I'd really love it. Remember after thunderstorms? I don't remember having severe thunderstorms. We just had thunderstorms. But man, it would last for maybe 15 minutes, torrential downpours, and it would come when it was hot, lots of humidity. Once it passed, God, the air was so fabulous. Remember, baby boomers especially, the sky was so beautifully magnificent, the blue of the sky after a thunderstorm. You don't see that anymore. After thunderstorms, it looks great. But also, Germany, the hailstorms are kicking off all over the place.
Germany was hit by a powerful cold frontal system. On March 26, 2026, Munich experienced a sudden, heavy downpour accompanied by hail up to several centimeters in size. Entered. In Augsburg, residents sheltered under awnings as large hailstones rained down on the streets. The German Weather Service warned of extremely hazardous traffic conditions. Drivers reported damage to windshields and mirrors from hail. Residents shared images of streets resembling rivers.
It looks like snow. I mean, look at Ohio. I think Amherst. I'm not quite sure where. No, this is Kentucky. What am I talking about? Kentucky. Okay. Look how unbelievably ill is this tree. Look at this. Okay. Again, I say, if you have the resources and you have trees that could, topple over with our fabulous wind now, and you can remove the tree, I highly recommend it. This tree is covered in fungal disease. So all of what they're doing, they're spraying, all of the toxins, what they spray up there, it comes down, goes into the root systems of the trees and weakens their immune system, and they can't fight off the winds. But we're having hurricane winds all the time now. And that really should be questioned. And so how about the fires? There was a fire in Florida, not sure what's happening with it now, Hernando Beach.
Check this out. Massive brush fire in Hernando County is one of the latest ones to break out in the dry, drought-stricken Florida region. Fire started yesterday, prompting a mandatory evacuation that was ordered for businesses and homes along Hernando Beach. Now, Hernando County Fire Rescue in Florida, they worked overnight to contain the fire, which was at least 150 acres. As of now, the evacuation order has been lifted. That's good.
Yeah.
The fire is still active and about 90% contained.
Okay, so I'm hoping that they got it really contained now. 90%, that was yesterday. But these fires seem to be just kicking off everywhere. So 28 North Kentucky residents are being kicked out of this mobile home park for a data center.
It's a community made up of mostly elderly people and people with disabilities in a trailer park. And now those families are being told they need to make way for a massive data center.
The notice came this weekend for 28 mobile homeowners who live just outside Maysville, Kentucky. David Winter spoke with several of them this afternoon.
We've been telling you for the past several months about an unnamed AI firm that began offering landowners in Mason County up to 10 times what their land is worth. Well, that's a boon for the property owners. In at least one case, the landowner has a trailer park on his property, and if he sells, the people who live there are out.
People like Roger Purcell, who recently had a stroke and had planned to live out his days in his home in the rolling hills of Mason County.
When they started talking about the AI, I had a feeling it was coming, but it's the realization of it being here and all this is happening now. And, it's taking everybody back. Everybody just don't know what to do.
Roger is one of 28 mobile homeowners who live in Meadowland Village who received this notice from their landlord that says, the mobile home park is presently under contract with a potential purchaser. That purchaser is an unnamed AI company that is attempting to put a 2,000-acre hyperscale data center complex near Maysville. We've told you about the man who would not sell his land for $8 million and the women who would not sell their land for $26 million. But the owner of Meadowland Village is selling his land. His notice went on to say the developer has generously agreed to place $20,000 in escrow for each of the current lessees.
That's not going to do much for any of them. $20,000. First of all, they would have to find if they could get another mobile park lot. They'd have to move their trailer, and it's so expensive now to move. Okay, if they don't sell their mobile home, then $20,000 does squat today. And if they're an unnamed, okay, we don't even know who will be creating this data center. Well, I think that needs to be disclosed. But if they were willing to give $26 million for land, $20,000, I'm sorry, something is so off with this. But what is also off with this is the fact that the data center, this area is not zoned for that. Okay, local government comes on in. How about, no, don't rezone it and allow these elderly and disabled people to live in their homes. That's something that you would think might happen.
That money is to pay for either moving a trailer or buying it.
They don't know what they're going to do. There's no trailer courts around here enough to even absorb probably half of these trailers.
Rico Roberts has lived in his home for 20 years. All of his doctors and support systems are in the area. He says even if there were a local trailer park, $20,000 would not cover the costs to move, and selling his home for $20,000 would do him no good.
Me and my wife both on Social Security, living on a budget. I don't have the money to buy a $150,000 house, so I guess I have no choice but to stay here, ride it out, and see what happens. And then when the sheriff comes, throw me off, I guess I'll skedaddle up out of here.
And for Pastor Gregory Jones, who just had knee surgery, the thought of his landlord asking crippled and elderly people to move is cruelty of biblical proportions.
How ungodly could you be? You know, where's your kindness? Where's your care? You know, where's your love for people?
He says at very least the property owner and the developer should share some of their wealth.
I'm hoping that the company steps up, man, and gives a lump sum of money to these people.
And you too.
And me too. So we can all move out of here and buy a piece of property and put it on and never have to face this issue again.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I did speak to that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't care how much money somebody would offer me for land. When I think if I were, the landlord of the elderly and disabled, there's no way that I could possibly do it. No way. And as far as the volume is, my volume is so unbelievably loud on my end. So no, I can't put it up anymore. Something's wrong, man, with this country. Meanwhile, in Australia, your fabulous prime minister came out and said, you got to take a train or your bicycle, just cycle to work. Cycle to work.
And the reality is, the economic shocks caused by this war will be with us for months. Tonight, I want to speak directly with you about what the government is doing to shield Australia in these uncertain times, and also what all of us can do to help our country and help each other in the period ahead. On Monday, National Cabinet adopted the National Fuel Security Plan. Leaders from both sides of politics, from right around the country, working together to keep Australia moving, making sure that we are prepared so that if the global situation gets worse and our fuel supplies are seriously disrupted over the long term, we can coordinate the next steps together. Today, we cut the fuel excise in half, cutting the tax on every litre of petrol by 26 cents. Those savings have started showing up at your petrol station. For our truckies, we have cut the heavy vehicle road user charge to zero. Both these measures will be in place for the next 3 months. We are working to bring the price of fuel down, to make more fuel here and to keep it on shore and get more fuel here, using our strong trading relationships with our region to bring more petrol, diesel and fertiliser to Australia. Now, it's the Australian way that people want to do their bit. And there are simple ways that you can. You should go about your business and your life as normal. Enjoy your Easter. And if you're hitting the road, don't take more fuel than you need. Just fill up like you normally would. Think of others in your community, in the bush, and in critical industries. And over coming weeks, if you can switch to catching the train or bus or tram to work, do so. That builds our reserves and it saves fuel for people who have no choice but to drive. Farmers and miners and tradies who need diesel every single day. And all those shift workers and nurses who do so much for our country. The months ahead may not be easy. I want to be upfront about that. No government can promise to eliminate the pressures that this war is causing. I can promise we will do.
And it sounds like we're in this together. We're all in this together. Okay. Oh, man. And yeah, Carl Vernon Talks. I will post the link if you don't know Carl Vernon Talks. You might want to subscribe. But wow. Prices in the UK. Hurts.
I was just explaining to the staff this morning about some of these prices. So what I thought I'd do is put it on as a video. I'm just going to explain to you one or two things today. Spanish broccoli there. This time last week, a box of broccoli like that, I paid £9.90. So 6 kilo of broccoli last Friday cost me £9.90. We buy 20 boxes on a Friday. Today, this broccoli, same weight, Spanish broccoli, cost me £24 a box. 15 quid a box or so dearer than this time last week. Moroccan tomatoes, this time of year you'd expect to pay somewhere between £6.50, £7 a box for tomatoes. So let's say 7 quid normally, this morning £20. £20 a box I've paid for that tomato this morning. The final one, iceberg lettuce, 12 in a box. This time of year, I would expect the normal price for something like that would be £6.60, £7.20 a box, so costing us about 60p a head. That's what I would normally expect to be paying. This morning, that costs £1.10 per head, £13.20 a box. So, personally, I think that's quite remarkable. You've got over £1,000 of the produce there. We're going to have to start passing that on where we can. I feel particularly for the caterers, the Sunday lunch brigade, the people that are doing, 150, 160 lunches on a Sunday. Last week, broccoli, they'll probably pay me £11.50. What are we charging today? Cost me 20.
That's huge, okay, in 1 week. A huge increase. And it gets passed on to the customers. And Fed Chair Jerome Powell warns U.S. national debt is growing substantially faster than the economy. This is not sustainable. It will not end well if we don't do something fairly soon. He's very measured in his message that he's, publicly stating, but I don't remember. Well, it might have been, but here.
What's clear is that our debt is growing much faster. The federal government debt is growing substantially faster than our economy, and that ratio is going up. And in the long run, that's kind of the definition of unsustainable. The level of the debt is not unsustainable, but the path is not sustainable. And so it's really important that we get back to. We don't have to pay the debt down. We just need to have primary balance and begin to have the economy actually growing better, growing more quickly than the economy. It will not end well if we don't do something fairly soon. This is not the Fed's job, of course, and I pretty much limit myself to those high-level points, which essentially everyone. What's clear is that
we're in big trouble, in big, big, big trouble. And your gas in Citrus County, Florida, $4.29. I don't know what to say. By the way, is everybody else okay? You can hear the videos that I'm playing? I'd like to make sure. Oh my God. Trump, we can't take care of daycare. What we're going to see is more and more of a wealth redistribution, a transfer of the wealth going to the very, very, very ultra wealthy, Trump and his friends, away from the American people. And more are going to be thrown off of Medicaid and Medicare and daycare. What are our values? War. It's war. It's war. That's it.
Don't send any money for daycare because the United States can't take care of daycare.
Thank you.
That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up, but it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing, military protection. We have to guard the country. But
that's it. Okay? We have to take care of one thing, the military. And do you feel safer since Trump has been in office? One thing, that's it. Protection of the people, protection of this country. Oh, man, we're getting so destroyed every single day. Every single day. War, killing, that's our value. We kill, we steal, we destroy. That's the American values system. That's it. It's been like this forever. Oracle cutting thousands. More and more are losing their jobs. There are no jobs out there. And, oh, well, what does it matter? Because they hated their jobs anyway. Tech CEO, Srinivas, I don't know, slammed after saying AI layoffs are fine because people hated their jobs anyway. Well, they might have, but their paycheck helped them to pay their bills. People should embrace being replaced by artificial intelligence since they don't like their jobs anyway. Oh my God, what? Okay, cruelty is another value that we've got going here. Cruelty. Oh my God, glorious future. Just think about your glorious future when you lose your job to AI. This guy, multi-millionaire. I swear, I know that people don't like cursing, but I fucking hate this country. I really do. California just passed a bill to seize Bitcoin left idle. If it's 3 years of inactivity, the state will seize it under unclaimed property laws. Wow. So I guess it was the House. Now the bill heads to the Senate. So there's an awful lot of people who have money in savings account and it sits there idle, So Bitcoin is money for people, and California is giving themselves the right to take it. Do you see how criminal our governments are? Bill Gates says the merging of biometric digital ID bank accounts and payment systems is needed.
Another place that India leads, but there's a lot more that all of you can be involved in driving forward, is this digital public infrastructure. No country is more able to take government benefits and get them out efficiently and effectively to their citizens than India. You would have expected rich countries or others to do that, but in fact, they did not. And so that basic structure that starts with identity and bank accounts and payments is just foundational. And as part of this visit, I'm now seeing how that foundation is being built out in agriculture with profiles of farmers to understand what they need and give them advice. Built out with health records so that we can help people not only with infectious diseases, but the challenge that's coming in the future with the growth of the non-communicable diseases being a huge thing. And that digital public infrastructure will help us with these climate problems.
Why don't you focus on Microsoft and get your, get it operating better, And yeah, Kermit, Patricia, he does look like Kermit. All of this is coming. I can't believe it. Well, I can believe it. I didn't think it was going to happen so fast, but that's, warp speed under Trump. General Mills launches Trix and Lucky Charms cereals with natural colors. Yay! Let's bow down. Let's say thank you, thank you, thank you, and applaud them, give them, just shower them with accolades. They have a cotton candy cereal. Ugh. General Mills said it remains on track to remove synthetic dyes from its U.S. cereal portfolio by later this year and from its full retail portfolio by the end of 2027. No, nothing was put in writing. It's just they're voluntarily doing this. How sweet. I guess you're going to remove it at some point. These cereals showcase the kind of creativity fans love. Really? What fans love? Creativity in their cereals, while also reflecting the progress we've made to remove certified colors from our cereal portfolio. I can't even believe I'm reading this. After the Minnesota company reformulated Trix cereal in 2016 with natural colors, sales declined after shoppers complained about it being too dull. Well, yeah, I can actually see, Americans with their minds. I don't like this Trix. I want to see all those neon colors. So what did they do? They brought back artificial colors. Holy shit, man, this country, I don't know. What do you do? FDA asked companies to voluntarily phase out artificial colors. Some states, including West Virginia, have also passed laws to eliminate the colors entirely or from foods served in schools. Major food companies, Nestle's, Kraft, Heinz, have announced plans to remove synthetic dyes. Now, that was announced last year. Remember, and everybody was like, yay, red dye. It's on its way out. It's dying. No, it's still in your foods. It's still there. You're going to wait for these corporations to do a phase out? Well, I guess it's good enough for Americans. What? And, Scott, I just want to thank you for posting this. It's very, very nice of you. big shout out to those who taught me and carried me, I guess. And I very much appreciate those who post videos like this, not just for myself, but for others, because this is a very hard thing to do, and, especially when you lose channels and then you lose subscribers and then the community guideline strikes and, now, very, very few actually leave comments that reflect the content. So I really do appreciate. You need something to, kind of keep you up. And I literally have nothing in my life that props me up or does that. So thank you, Scott, very much.
I just want to do a quick shout out to those that have channels on YouTube that I've watched over the years that I've gotten a lot from. I'm not going to, say, I can't possibly say all of them, but here's just a few. Thank you to all of you. Derek Prince, Richie from Boston, A Call for an Uprising, Carol, Never Lose Truth, Canadian Prepper, The Prepared Homestead, Sling and Stone, Corbett Report, Enter the Stars, Shaking My Head Productions, Gabe the Street Preacher, love you, brother. John Barrett, Preacher John Barrett, and last but not least for this small few listed, save the best for last, Abby the Spoon Lady. Check her out. Thank you all. You've taught me a lot. You've got me through some hard times as well. You really have. Praise God. God bless you. Keep on keeping on, you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Sorry. But yeah, I didn't have the mic on. Finally, an AI-powered optic that turns your AR-15 into a drone hunter. Imagine pulling the trigger on your rifle and having a computer decide whether the bullet actually leaves the barrel, not a scope that helps you aim, not a red dot that speeds up target acquisition. We are talking about a system that physically will not let the weapon fire until it has calculated to the millisecond that the round is going to hit what you want to go poof. Yeah. Well, AR-15s, that's for military, right? I think you can purchase these ARs, but they're very expensive. All right. Marines and Army soldiers. There you go. We don't need your skill anymore. We just need artificial intelligence. And if anybody wants, I know there's a lot of gun enthusiasts. The link is in the chat. So, now, anyone who takes the train, please stand well back with your back to a wall, because there's a lot of crazy, violent people out there pushing people into trains.
A train should be something I hear happen maybe once in my life. But here in our broken society, this seems to be happening over and over all the time. This guy.
Whoa. I don't know where this is. It's somewhere in this country, but really? Okay. Always be aware of your surroundings. When you're out in public, or waiting for a train or whatever, don't get so hypnotized by your phone. Put it down and keep a watch on what's happening. So, North Texas fireman arrested on child sex abuse charges.
Steve and Heather, this investigation began in May of 2025. That is when a young woman came forward with these allegations against 3 Howe volunteer firemen dating back to 2022. Now, this young woman told police she was sexually assaulted around 30 times when she was just 16 years old. Now, Howe police said they took immediate action, and then they called in the Texas Rangers to take over. 3 North Texas firefighters are now charged with child sex crimes. David Perez Glass, Joshua Riles, and Dalton McCaslin were arrested by Texas state troopers on Thursday following a 10-month-long investigation. A young woman whose name has been redacted in documents obtained by Fox 4 says she was victimized by these men when she was a 16-year-old junior firefighter at the Howell Volunteer Fire Department in Grayson County in 2022. Police say Perez Glass coerced the girl to have sex from January 2022 to January 2023 while alone at the fire station and also at a storage facility in Van Alstyne. She also said Perez Glass told her he would rape her and do things to her parents and that he would kill her if she ever told anyone. The woman also said on her 17th birthday, Perez Glass said he no longer wanted a relationship now that she was of legal age. According to Howe Fire's Facebook page, the same year the alleged abuse occurred, Perez Glass was awarded Firefighter of the Year. Dalton McCaslin, in an interview with investigators earlier this month, confessed he knew the girl was younger than 17 when the two had sex at his apartment in December of 2022. The third, Joshua Riles, also admitted to having a sexual interaction with the girl while she was at the Howe fire station. At the time of their arrests, all 3 men had full-time jobs across North Texas. Perez Glass employed at Irving Fire since 2023. Now,
see, we have a real problem here in our country. The sexual abuse of children it has been, and it still is, going on. And yes, that's typical. That's typical. You get the threat. If you tell anybody, I'll kill you. Typical. I got it. And I don't know if any of you recall what ICE is doing. That's still going on, by the way. Okay. It's, I want to say out of control, but I think it's very much in control. They're just doing what they have been told to do. But the refugee who was found dead in Buffalo, New York, during the winter, very, very cold, the death of a refugee left at a Buffalo donut shop, ruled a homicide. But I thought it was interesting in this article, they say, just because it was ruled a homicide doesn't mean a crime was committed. Okay. Well, homicides generally require a crime being committed, but who am I? This was death of a nearly blind refugee from Myanmar who was found 5 days after Border Patrol agents left him at a donut shop in Buffalo in freezing weather. the Erie County Medical Examiner's Office has, yes, homicide, but doesn't necessarily mean there was a crime. He did have health problems, and when he was finally released, nobody called his family. No one told his family. They were waiting for him, but no one told his family. He was dropped off at a donut shop 5 miles away from home. He needed a cane, but he didn't have enough money, so he used a shower curtain, not a shower curtain, just a curtain rod, and was found dead. Yeah, that's what we do here. They dropped him off there because it was a warm, safe location near his last known address, but 5 miles away from where he was living. Yeah, I think crimes were committed. They claim, U.S. Border Control, ICE, they claim that he never showed any signs of distress, any disability, nothing. But yes, he had disabilities. The restaurant was closed. It was closed at the time they dropped him off. But they dropped him off for a warm, safe location. All right, there's something very, very wrong with our country, man. And this is, the cruelty now has really just exploded. And I think Trump has given permission. Who the hell cares? I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want to do. I don't care if people die. I don't care, if people get hurt. That's Trump. Man kills girlfriend and 2 kids before killing himself. Another murder-suicide, and the link is in the chat if you want the details. But I have to say, ma'am, I said it last night, and I'll say it again, something is wrong with our dogs. Now, a pack of dogs accused of killing 20 cattle? 20 cattle? This in Virginia?
We're following a disturbing story out of Lowndes County tonight. One farmer says a pack of dogs killed his livestock.
Bud Holtkamp called us earlier this week. He told us that he has lost 20 heads of cattle and it's cost him more than 40 grand.
WTVA's Jake Holcomb joins us live from Lowndes County tonight.
Bud Holtkamp owns the Holtkamp Farm in Crawford. He's angry and furious and out $41,000. Under attack. Bud Holtkamp and his lead farmhand, Mark Richardson, say dogs killed 20 of their cattle.
Their ears ripped off, their tails ripped off, and they're dead in the pasture, not eaten or nothing.
Other cattle farmers are also reporting attacks. In all, about 35 heads of cattle on this farm have been brutally attacked and either injured or killed. Holtkamp says he can't do much about it. He'll need a court order before he takes action.
Can't do it, or nobody can do it until some judge signs off on it, I guess. And so they're still out roaming, still out killing cattle.
The attacks have forced the cattle farmers to divert their time and energy elsewhere, and that costs money.
And it kind of throws your whole day off then, because then you've got, at that point, you're not worried about, hey, I need to go check my fence. It's, hey, I need to go check the cows and see what we're missing, what else is dead, because you find 1 or 2 up close, it's most likely you're going to find more out in the pasture on this place that might have also problems.
I reached out.
What the hell is going on? Okay, it's usually wolves. Dogs? Really? Again, I'll say what I think of, and I'm not saying that this is the cause. I don't know what the hell is going on with dogs, because I'm seeing more and more and more people getting attacked by dogs, killed by dogs. But yeah, they can use electromagnetic frequencies on dogs to make them vicious. To make them vicious. No, they didn't say what kind of dogs. But Florida couple had their dog killed while the dog was just lying on the driveway by somebody shooting at the dog.
The search is on for the person who did this.
Luann Manny, investigators are still working to find the person they say shot and killed that family's dog. The family tells me their dog, Baby, they've had for more than 6 years, and they are absolutely heartbroken by this loss. Now they're hoping somebody comes forward with information.
Everybody loved her. She was the sweetest, kindest, gentlest dog.
That's how Nancy and Stephen Kuhn are remembering their dog, Baby. The couple's emotional support animal was a familiar face in their neighborhood.
Everybody seemed to love her. People pull up all the time with their little golf cart giving her treat.
Baby would often lie in their driveway, but on Monday, that normal routine quickly turned tragic.
I heard a blood-curdling scream, yelp, and I dropped what I was doing and I ran out here.
The couple says at first they didn't know what happened, but after rushing Baby to the vet,
They took x-rays and she came out and told us your dog was shot.
the Lake County Sheriff's Office's Baby was shot with a pellet gun. Deputies are now working to determine whether the shooter was on foot or in a car.
There was a report of a suspicious car in the area, right?
I can't. Wow, man. All right. Judge blocks construction on President Trump's White House ballroom. Oh my God. Well, the judge feels that he needs some congressional approval of this ballroom. So 2 weeks, can't do anything. And they'll be appealing it, of course. Donald Trump appeals everything. Oh, and yeah, it's just so phallic, these guys, right? Donald Trump, his library in Miami. Oh, God. It's such a, like you can't get away from these narcissists. You can't get away from the malignant narcissists. And if you happen to be somebody who grew up in that kind of environment, are you feeling things today? Watching what has become of this country and Trump? Everything. Yeah. Everything. He's just, God. Trump storms out of SCOTUS birthright hearing. Never knew a president. When I first saw this, I was like, he went to the Supreme Court to listen to his birthright citizenship case to intimidate. That's why I think he went there. He apparently stormed out only an hour or an hour and a half afterwards. Trump failed to sit through the lengthy Supreme Court hearing on this birthright citizenship. And he apparently showed up at 10 a.m., met with furious protests. His attendance made him the first sitting president to attend oral arguments. And I do believe that he showed up because he's intimidating the justices. That's what he does. So I think it's going to be too bad for you, Trump. You lose. We'll see what happens. And Oh, finally somebody comes out and says, you know what, hospital food needs to be a little bit healthier. Fabulous, RFK. I think anybody could have said that. Emphasizing limiting ultra-processed foods, refined carbohydrates, and sugar-laden products. Hospitals should review and revise food and nutrition service policies. You think? A good diet. Well, steel-cut oats with berries and nuts for breakfast, grilled salmon with quinoa, and roasted vegetables. The days when I used to cook like that and eat like that. Yeah, well, there are some things that have gone on forever in our country, like disgusting, unhealthy food in schools, in all institutions, in hospitals. And how about the next thing? Why don't you get rid of all of the antennas that are parked usually on the roofs of hospitals, emitting electromagnetic frequencies? How about getting rid of Wi-Fi, which is unbelievably unhealthy, and it generally doesn't permit healing? But hey, one man thinks he knows why everything sucks. Because everything is fake. Fake college degrees that cost 4 years and 6 figures that teach you fake education to get you a fake job, eating fake food with fake ingredients, funded by fake research, scrolling through fake lives with fake relationships, who take fake curated vacations to promote brands that make fake products, voting for fake candidates who run on fake promises instead, or inside a fake system that was never designed to fix anything, raising kids in fake schools that teach fake history, fake science, while quietly producing fake adults who can't think for themselves. We are watching fake news about fake crises produced by fake journalists for fake outrage. We are borrowing fake money that was printed from nothing to fund a fake economy that would collapse in an afternoon if people stopped pretending it was real. We are buying fake organic food. Yeah, that's just a paid label. And drinking fake juice with 2% juice in it, and putting fake cheese on cheeseburgers. That's just cheese product on fake burger meat. We are donating to fake nonprofits where the money never makes it to the people, and then funding fake foreign aid that buys real weapons to prop up fake governments. We are going to fake therapy that teaches fake coping skills. Instead of telling you hard truths, we are buying fake furniture with fake wood that's actually compressed sawdust and glue that looks like wood, ships in 14 boxes with instructions written in fake language that isn't quite any language, requires tools it doesn't include, takes 4 hours to build, wobbles on day 1, and is totally destroyed in 6 months. We are downloading fake free apps that charge a subscription after 3 days for AI features that don't work, hidden behind a paywall we didn't see, protected by a privacy policy we didn't read, buried inside terms of service written by lawyers specifically so we wouldn't read them, that we agreed to by tapping a button the size of a thumbnail that gave a company we've never heard of the right to sell our data to companies we'll never hear of, to build a profile on us we'll never see, to influence decisions we'll never know were made. It is all fake, and we all yearn for what was once real. Yeah. And I don't know how many people who post and are completely alone and, nothing's coming back. It just feels like nothing, real life is gone. It's so gone. That's heartbreaking. And it's not coming back, as we all know. So what do I go to first? How about this? This is posted by, I was following Catherine Austin Fitts. Are they now just unfollowing people on Twitter? So, Senator Wyden, a letter to the White House, quote, in his second term, President Trump has given his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, an unprecedented level of control over U.S. foreign policy while remaining on the payroll of numerous foreign governments. Mr. Kushner is simultaneously being paid millions of dollars by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, of the Gulf monarchies, while leading diplomatic negotiations with Iran and Russia. It's corruption at its finest. And I guess the Americans just don't care. Yeah, I finally heard somebody say, we need to get Trump out pronto. No. You vote him out? No. They were saying, this man is deranged. He needs to go. And, well, you need the American people to start screaming about it. Where are they? This corrupt arrangement is not only criminal, but it is endangering the lives of Americans and threatening our national security. Okay, so what? Claudia Sheinbaum, president of Mexico, just made it clear. Mexico has every right to send fuel to Cuba, whether for humanitarian or commercial reasons. No apology, no hesitation, no asking permission. All right. There are more and more and more on a daily basis. The numbers are adding up. That are essentially doing this to the United States. No more not asking permission. Washington has spent 6 decades telling the world who can trade with Cuba and who cannot. Mexico is saying that era is over. Now, what is it going to do for the American people? Oh, we're going to get so destroyed here. Because the petrodollar, more and more are people being allowed to go through the Strait of Hormuz, other countries. And they're not paying with the petrodollar. They're paying with the petro yuan. Okay? This is the death of the petrodollar. Do you know what that means? Kiss away whatever value you think is left to your dollar. Kiss it away. And here, oh man. So at 9 o'clock, he addresses the nation.
And tonight I'm making a little speech at 9 o'clock. And basically I'm gonna tell everybody how great I am. What a great job I've done. What a phenomenal job. What a phenomenal job I've done. But seriously, if you didn't have me, if you had some different type of a president, you wouldn't have Israel. I know you're big Israel fans. Frankly, and tonight I'm making a little speech at 9 o'clock.
Okay, this is purposeful. Get everyone outraged about Israel. And we're like this, okay? We're working the world together. And and I can't find it, but I'll do some research tomorrow. The whole Latin America, Canada, Mexico, United States. It's the greater, well, United States, like the greater Israel. They're working the Middle East. We're working here and also the Middle East. But he's going to talk about how great he is, and I don't have any doubt that we're going to hear that. American journalist Shelley Kittleson kidnapped in Iraq. This war, by the way, is spreading. So this woman, an American journalist, has been kidnapped in Baghdad by a suspected Iranian-backed Iraqi armed group, longtime freelancer in the region, reporting extensively from Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon. U.S. State Department said, we'll ensure her release as soon as possible. Well, I really hope that they're working on it. So, dangerous escalation. This is so unbelievably upsetting. The passage of legislation in Israel that they can put to death Palestinians that are detained. It's really phenomenal that this is going on. World reacts to Israel passing death penalty law. And I'm glad somebody was saying it because it's absolutely true. So in the West Bank, you have the settlers attacking Palestinians, burning down their homes, killing their livestock, ripping up their olive trees, doing all of this destruction. But if a Palestinian fights back and happens to, kill a settler, they get hung. They get hung. I guess there's no, self-defense argument that the Palestinians can make. And listen to this guy. It is such, it's not a joke, but it's a joke. I mean, and joke meaning in a very degrading way, not funny, haha.
The law of Israel does not apply equally on Israelis or Palestinians who are not part of the state of Israel.
Including the death penalty.
Now, let's move to the death penalty. Decision went through the Knesset to instate the death penalty in Israel. Now, let me just clarify. There always was a death penalty in Israel. It just wasn't implemented. There were only 2 cases in the history of Israel where they implemented the death penalty. One of them was Eichmann, a Nazi. It was always there, but it was not implemented due to the restraint that Israel acted on this issue. Israel is very careful, and Israel is a human rights state. Is very careful not. We know that mistakes can be made in capital punishment. But we reached a situation where you have terrorists on your border, terrorists crossing the border, attacking communities, and the usual punishment is no deterrent because they believe, first of all, they get released in exchanges of prisoners. They then attack again in order to exchange prisoners. So we understand that this is not a deterrence besides the ideological radical beliefs that they have, which are deranged. We needed extra deterrence. So the laws went through, which actually, again, I said, just like in the United States, in Japan, and in India, which have capital punishment. Israel has the right as a sovereign state to decide that it is implementing the capital punishment that it has.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I guess one good thing about the United States is that our capital punishment is not selective. It's not, we can kill whatever nationality you want to think of that's not American white, okay? Whatever race, whatever religion. We can kill them, but we're not going to kill those good white Christians especially the nationalism. How, okay, Israel, now they're a human rights state. Wow, what the reality of our life today can really, you really have to do work to not go crazy listening to this. It is absolutely atrocious. So if you had a death penalty in Israel, why did you have to pass legislation for a death penalty for the Palestinians? You could have just implemented that law that you claim to have had just on the Palestinians, which seems to be the way you implement the law when it pertains to a Palestinian. A soldier who kills a Palestinian outright, no murder, homicide, they walk free. You rape, they walk free. What we are doing now with Trump, and it's not just the Iran war, but it's also ICE and all of this, and all of the restrictions now on visas, and his bullying so many different countries, and his disgusting manner of speaking. The world now hates us. So we had the IDF for 2.5 years, and it's still ongoing, doing the most evil, atrocious things. And the world, more and more, very quickly, was, hate Israel. Now they hate us. This is purposeful. This is to get countries to back away from the United States. It's part of the destruction of this country. And if you can get out now, if you have the resources to get the hell out of this country, do it. Do it, because nothing good is coming to us. Nothing. Nothing good is coming. And an elderly Jewish woman in Israel protesting that death penalty. Look at this. Look at this woman. Holy shit. Okay. Well, is there something wrong with that woman? Absolutely, 100%. What's going on? You can attack an elderly woman like that? This isn't anti-Semitism when you're criticizing Israel and the IDF and their police force. What is it? It's anti-evil. People don't want to be seeing this. And they have a lot to say about it. Well, I don't know. There are people who are still of that mindset. Just throw all the Jews in one category and hate them and claim that they're all the problem. And if we could just get rid of them, oh, how sweet and lovely would be the world. Nothing could be further from the truth. And
but Israel, the country whose prime minister has a warrant out for his arrest by the International Court of Justice for war crimes, our very own health secretary, in a text to Mandelson, spoke about the war crimes of Israel. And yet doesn't seem to be of any interest to our media here.
Yeah.
But yesterday,
Yep.
to whoops of joy and literally the popping open of bottles of champagne.
And that is literal. You know, Ben-Gvir, so excited that they passed this legislation. And he is literally in the Knesset opening champagne. So happy is he that now he can kill all of those Palestinians that have been detained. And, you know, there's a whole lot of them. They just pick them up, throw them in detention, and not that they have committed any kind of crime. Oh my God, I can't. Our world is really fucked up. Oh, really, seriously. And boy, do we need more people screaming about it.
The Israelis passed a law that allows them to hang Palestinians, Muslims and Christians in the Holy Land, but not Israelis.
But as far as I'm concerned, this is also part of the stage show to get the world hating Israel. They can claim the anti-Semitism, whatever, but keep that drama going, and you'll never look at the Vatican. You'll never look at the Jesuits. Now, I don't know if the law says actually Christians, but I could see it. You know, there are Palestinian Christians. So yeah, Palestinians, whether Muslim or Christian. Wow. Okay. And yeah, you can't tell me that people like this don't realize how much the world is going to hate them. Standing there holding a noose. They're ready, man. They're ready. Let's go kill with a big smile on our face. Either the frequencies in Israel have been set at a frequency that they're getting people to behave this way, or they're doing it purposefully. Like Trump's behavior and Trump, those in his administration, and a whole lot of very just hateful Americans. They sound, you know, the racism. It's the people in the country that can put a stop to this. When you have a majority behaving this way, it's very difficult. Very difficult. You need a lot of courage. Like that elderly Jewish woman who had courage, and then she's like beat up by some young, you know, I don't know, she doesn't seem to be wearing any kind of uniform. Who the hell is she? She could just be an Israeli who doesn't like the fact that they're protesting this law. How dare you do this in Israel? So yeah, something's up with this. This is not. All right, but got a lot going on in the Middle East. So, Syrian protester in Dara says the Syrian border will ignite. This is over. The law passed in Israel. All right, sending a message to Netanyahu. Tell him the Syrian people and the people of Dara all stand with the Palestinian people and our brothers. And if he doesn't reverse the execution decision for Palestinian prisoners, missiles won't only come from Iran. The Syrian border will ignite and missiles will come from Syria. So they have missiles coming from Lebanon. This is just expanding. God is great, God is great, God is great. Second Syrian armed group declares war on Israel. An armed group. This is in Syria.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أذن للذين يقاتلون بأنهم ظلموا وإن
It's near Daras have declared jihad against the Israeli occupation forces in southern Syria. How many, have been saying what Israel is doing, what Israel is posting on TikTok, the IDF, it's not going to be good for the Israelis. A whole lot, myself included. Of course, there's going to be consequences for that kind of behavior. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt today, she said, our nation was founded almost 250 years ago on Judeo-Christian values. Well, where the hell are those values? Because I don't see them. I don't think they manifest them. You had 250 years to manifest them.
Pope said yesterday, and I quote him, God does not listen to the prayer of those who wage war. Can you comment on that?
I think our nation was a nation founded 250 years ago almost on Judeo-Christian values. And we've seen presidents, we've seen the leaders of the Department of War, and we've seen our troops go to prayer during the most turbulent times in our nation's history. And I don't think there's anything wrong with our military leaders or with the president calling on the American people to pray for our service members and those who are serving our country overseas. In fact, I think it's a very noble thing to do. And if you talk to many service members, they will tell you they appreciate the prayers and support.
You know that the evil will claim that it's noble. Pray for them. I'm not praying for them. I don't want any of them to get hurt. But you signed up. You signed up to be in the military with an incredibly evil government. Well, this is what happens. But to say that, Judeo-Christian values coming out of the mouth of someone who lies continuously is a danger to the American people and doesn't manifest the values. Israeli defense minister says all of South Lebanon will be occupied, the villages leveled in accordance with Gaza. Okay. Well, I don't know how much you know about what's going on in Gaza. I'm in Lebanon. But they're still killing Palestinians in Gaza, okay? But they are leveling a whole lot of villages, residences, apartment buildings in Lebanon. And the good people of the world need to stop the evil people somehow. Somehow this has got to stop. Oh my God. And well, China warns Israel. At the United Nations, a senior Chinese diplomat issues a stark warning urging that Lebanon must not become another Gaza. And what are you going to do, China? Do something. Do something. Don't just speak. Please do something. You've got the power to do it. Do it. And here, Israel, message to a broad swath of Lebanon: Shiites must go. So we're going to hang the Palestinians. And in Lebanon, we're going to tell all of those Shiites, because Iran the majority is Shiite. They have to leave. They have to leave. Well, man, to all of those Israelis, to all of the Jews in Israel, that you have spoken up, you've had the courage, you did what you could. I don't want any of you to get harmed, but my God. I hope Israelis get that your entire country is threatened. It's the entire country is threatened and may not exist. But yes, it was founded on genocide. Teso, it was. You're right. It was on Judeo-Christian values. Give me a flipping break. So, and I will post the link to this. This is Live Middle East Eye news publication, but the live page has an awful lot of information about our fabulous war. Qatar Defense Ministry says missile launched from Iran hit oil tanker off the country's coast. Okay, that's an update. I didn't see that. Wow. Iranian Red Crescent, over 115,000 civilian units damaged by the attacks on Iran. So, oh God, you'll get a lot of information on this page. Iraq begins oil exports via Syria. Iraqi group says it carried out 41 attacks on U.S. bases. And I've seen some of those attacks from Hezbollah into, well, mostly northern Israel. Yeah. And I'm sorry, for those Israelis who never did a thing, those Israelis who have the mentality, that entitlement that gets you to think that you can kill anybody anywhere and you're entitled to go anywhere, and you want these people, because they're not, Israeli, you want them dead. It's very hard to see you crying when your IDF soldiers are being laid to rest. That's what happens when you literally televise your evil all over the world. So Saudi Arabia rerouted nearly 1 million barrels of crude away from Hormuz Strait. Iranian president said it does not view the American people as enemies. In fact, the supreme leader, Khamenei, had several times publicly stated it is not the American people when we say death to America. It's the government, it's the leaders, not the American people. Okay. Now, what? People are really nuts. Alex Jones, he's almost in tears. Trump, he's not doing well. He doesn't look good.
Swell up 3 times the size they were before. That means heart failure.
His ankles are 3 times the size they were before. His ankles.
He does look sick. And he does babble and, sound like the brain's not doing too hot. And so we just cut bait on Trump, and we just mobilize against the Democrats. And we mobilize against neocons. We primary them and we just fight even harder because look at how we've turned the tide. Look at all the good we've done. There's a fourth turning. Populist.
Oh, my Mike. What good have you done since Trump has been in office? Oh, Alex, I guess you don't see all of the elderly that are going homeless. I guess you don't see how many people now are, well, I don't have insurance because I can't afford it. I guess you don't see how many people are being put out of their homes. I guess you don't see all of the families struggling to buy groceries. I guess you don't see how many millions don't have a job. They've lost their job. They can't find a job. I guess what good has Trump done? Please, could one person on the red team tell me?
Nationalists, conservatives are winning everywhere. There's a Christian reawakening.
No,
And Trump is
that's what he's doing. He's lying. There's no Christian reawakening. That has already been disputed. Christian nationalists, what did he say?
There's a Christian reawakening, and Trump is just a nationalist. Conservatives are winning everywhere.
No, you're not. You're losing. You're losing. How many in the primaries? The red team is losing all over. In fact, they even lost in Trump's district in Florida. Don't you love it? Everybody's lying. Everybody's lying. How can you get anywhere good when you have scum like this? And I can't stand that word, but, well, kind of fits.
There's a Christian reawakening, and Trump is just a minor figure in all of that now. And we have to be appreciative of the old Trump that went through so much and got so much done.
Oh.
And that's the Trump we remember. And we're just sad because that happens. We need to be sad about Trump. This is not.
Oh, yeah, no, don't think so. Don't think so.
Funny. This is not good. But he's gone. And that's it. And all the people rallied around him, you can see Hegseth's freaked out. You can see the press secretary's freaked out. They're being loyal. They think it's the lesser of two evils. And okay, but I just, Trump needs intervention. He needs to take some time off. We need to pray for Trump, that the Holy Spirit touch his heart and loose him from whatever evil can.
Wait a second. I thought Trump was anointed. He's God. Wait, but now you're calling for the Holy Spirit to touch his heart? Well, that doesn't seem very consistent. All right, these people are so fucked up. I'm sorry for cursing. Yeah. I've noticed a lot of people are cursing more. All right, yeah, but everybody is just unbelievably nuts. I need $200 billion for the war. I said I already won. And listen to this. This is not gaslighting. You know, you can't say something that is so obviously wrong and call it gaslighting. Gaslighting, it has to work, right? But that they can say this, that he can say this, it's not a war. He's not, okay.
Well, we just had an important series of votes on the House floor. As you know, the War Powers Resolution failed. That is the right result. We are not at war. We have no intention of being at war. The President and the Department of Defense have made this very clear. The Department of War has made it very clear. This is a limited operation. It's a
limited operation. A limited operation. They've been targeting hospitals. They've been targeting the Red Crescent centers. They've been targeting apartment complexes, schools, universities. This is a limited operation, you lying sack of shit. Yeah, do the American people need to unite? Absolutely. Do we need to stop fighting one another on these ridiculous, stupid grounds? and maybe fight the real enemies like this guy and Trump and all of them? What the hell are we doing listening to this?
Operation is limited in its scope and duration. It has a very clear mission, and that mission is nearly accomplished by all estimates. We are taking down Iran's ballistic missile capability, its stockpile, and its ability to produce more. They were doing that at a scale and a speed that was more than our regional allies could keep up with, and it was a.
But they're still targeting Israel. They're still targeting U.S. bases in the Gulf. So you targeted their munition sites. So Trump to almost declare mission accomplished. Here we go. Oh boy. What's the stock market going to do? Because that's all he's concerned about. People are nuts.
Don't even like this government or this regime. This is a regime that is led by radical Shia clerics, by people who believe that it is their calling. I know this sounds fantastical, but it's absolutely true. This is a regime led by people who believe that it is their calling and their purpose in life to usher in the end of the world. These people don't even like this government or this regime. This is
Iran is the one who's ushering in the end of the world. When we've been listening to Hegseth talk about, it's a fight against the evil and Armageddon crusade in the name of Jesus. Are you kidding? They want to they want to usher in the end of the world to bring back Jesus. But they're the radical extremists. Our country is so gone in so many ways. Here, Rubio. Oh, so
they were moving towards eventually having a missile that could reach the continental United States. That's what they were aiming to do. They were aiming to become the next North Korea, except not a North Korea run by, a regime that, is troublesome and hard to understand.
Well, that's a quick cleanup. Don't piss off North Korea. They were aiming to become like North Korea, really?
But an Iran run by radical Shia clerics with intercontinental missiles that could reach the mainland.
And that's all an awful lot of Americans need to hear. Oh, they're Shia. So I guess they're Arabs. No, they're not. They're Persian. Okay. And they speak Farsi and very different. But all I need to hear, oh my God, they're different from us. They must be crazy. No, we're the crazy ones. Here, absolutely horrific. Abir writes, how can a country wage constant wars while things are falling apart domestically? Because we don't care about anything. And do I need to post this on another browser? You get the point, right? Kensington, right? I've never seen anything like this before. Well, it's America, okay? And that's just one area of America. But yeah, the billions and billions and billions and billions, trillions going to kill people and nothing for the American people. Americans don't care about the $4 gas prices because they're feeling so much safer. Do you feel safer? He's asking about the gas prices. It's very hard to hear.
And we have a country that's not going to be throwing a nuclear weapon at us.
You ask any American on the street. Were you afraid that Iran was going to attack us? Were you afraid that Iran was going to attack us with a nuclear weapon? And I guarantee you might find, 1 out of 10 that say, oh yeah, because they're so indoctrinated. but most would say, oh, that issue was not on my radar. So we feel so much safer now.
And they're also feeling a lot safer.
They feel a lot safer. The West has no real morals, and that's absolutely true.
Qu'il passe. Moi, je pleure le peuple français. Mais quand même, il est...
Okay, so this is the president of Burkina Faso, and the West has no real morals. One day you're a terrorist in their eyes, the next a hero. It's time to break free from this mental colonialism. I truly feel sorry for the French people, is what he says.
Qu'il passe. Moi, je pleure le peuple français. Mais quand même, il est bien pour l'Afrique.
But this is good for Africa.
Il est mal nécessaire pour nous.
For us, it's a necessary evil, which is essentially getting rid of the Westerners.
Contre l'impérialisme, c'est ça.
This is what the fight against imperialism is all about.
Il faut décoloniser les mentalités.
We must decolonialize our mentality, considering all these facts.
Prendre en compte toutes ces données-là, parce que le monde nous donne tellement
Because the world gives us so many examples.
d'exemples à voir. Pour eux,
There is no human morality among Westerners. And he's right. He's right.
il n'y a pas de morale. Ils peuvent vous désigner
Today, they can openly declare you a terrorist and tomorrow make you a hero.
aujourd'hui terroriste, mais demain, vous êtes un héros. Par leur simple bouche. Ils
With their simple language, they decide what to do.
décident de ce qu'ils font. Ils parlent de démocratie,
They talk about democracy and every day commit undemocratic acts.
mais ils se font eux-mêmes des coups d'État.
Yes. And look at this. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful. Hundreds of thousands of Ethiopian Christians gather in an unapologetic explosion of faith while the godless West dies. And it is, you know, a whole lot of Christians are essentially atheists because, oh, they talk about loving God and they talk about, you know, loving Jesus, but they don't, there has been no transformation in mind and heart. Look at this. Wow. And yeah, congratulations, America and Israel. You have united almost every possible aspect of Iranian society. What is your job? I'm a model and I used to live in Turkey. Don't you live in Turkey? Let's see. In these current circumstances, I decided to return to Iran and be with the people.
تو این شرایطی که برای ایران به وجود اومده تنها کاری که بتونم برای کشورم بکنم تصمیم گرفتم که بیام ایران و در کنار مردم باشم. با
piercing اومدی اینجا چیز نمیشه.
You have piercings. Did anybody harass you?
اصلا
Not at all.
هیچی.
Nothing. They treated me so kindly that I'm surprised at how kind they are.
با هم مهربون برخورد میکنن که من حتی خودم تعجب کردم که چقدر این انسان ها اینقدر مهربونن. من اینقدر دوستای چادری الان پیدا کردم.
I found friends who wear a chador. I'm not sure what that is. What do you think about this type of people coming here to this woman who's very traditional?
من خیلی دوستشون دارم. ما تذکر بدیم بهشون. ما کاری نیستیم. اون که حساب
I don't need to say anything. God knows. Aren't you upset? Perhaps Imam Mahdi will approve of this woman. So we've been fed a lot of lies, you know. And thank you, Abby. Oof. Well, I hope you get why I'm thanking her. And I want to thank my subscriber for sending this along.
Iran holds the third largest.
Let me see.
I mean, let's not forget that Iran holds the third largest oil reserves in the world. So we're talking about literally just 2 months after the flagrant kidnapping, the brazen black bagging of a sovereign leader overseeing the largest oil reserves in the world with little controversy from like the world stage. Like, and we're seeing the exact same rhetoric. We're seeing the exact same acquiescence, kowtowing to this insanity from these global leaders because they're just complicit. I mean, they are appendages to this system and they have been vying for this for decades. One of the biggest, I think, misconstrued understandings of the situation is that Israel has forced America's hand into this, somehow absolving the great Satan. Look, this is the ritual sacrifice to the oil dragon. This is what America does. This is all for oil. It always has been, and they do not care about the human casualties or the environmental toll of anything that they do. So this is just pure savagery and barbarism. The media has laid the groundwork for all of this. I mean, they're doing the exact same playbook, just like they did in Gaza, obfuscating who's perpetrating the atrocities. I mean, 150 children. I mean, and on the first day, one of the worst atrocities that the U.S. has directly committed since Vietnam. And the way the media is reporting on it, buried, right? The lead's buried in paragraph 7. The headline is just like, yep, this happened. It was really bad. Well, who the hell did it? Who did it? This is absolutely insane, the way that this has been normalized and accepted by the world. So, you know, when you give someone an inch, they won't stop. And this is what happens when you incubate a planet, incubate a world order that lets war criminals run free, gallivant around the world, selling books, going on Ellen DeGeneres' show. This is what happens with a world that has total impunity for a military empire, brutalizing and subjugating the planet. And the media plays right along. It is horrific and disgusting to see another war of aggression in my name and our names be carried out with the just complete and utter complicity and compliance from Western media.
Yep. Trump says U.S. may exit Iran war in 2 to 3 weeks. Threatens to quit NATO. Well, Iran came out and said, we can continue the war for 6 months. And Iran says that in 2 weeks, it will have taken out all U.S. Israeli air defenses. Already significant degradation of American and Israeli air defenses. But in 2 weeks, give us 2 weeks more, and you won't be able to stop anything. Gee, I wonder if the wind down on the war that Trump may be announcing is because he knows that this is happening. He knows they're losing. Iran's winning. Iran strongly condemned the U.S.-Israeli attack on a civilian aircraft carrying medicine and medical equipment from several countries to Iran. And yeah, the bad people win. They write the narrative for sure. The good people lose.
That doesn't mean the war is right. Good people lose wars. That doesn't mean the good people are in the wrong. So let's look at the situation here. For 2.5 years, Israel waged what's called the crime of crimes. Israel waged a genocide in Gaza.
And look at this guy down here in that little, picture of him. No, we didn't. Yes, you did.
And then, before even the blink of an eye, Israel launched what was called at Nuremberg the supreme international crime, the crime of aggression. That being the case, there can't be any dispute, none whatsoever, that Iran had the right and continues to have the right of self-defense against the supreme international crime of aggression.
And people actually argue against that? You're going to claim that Iran is the problem when they were attacked by the United States and Israel, and the first 24 hours they're killing 165 children? And you think that, how do people argue that? President Trump said to give Iran war. Okay, we know that. U.S. deploys third aircraft carrier to Middle East amid preparations for Iran invasion. So this was posted yesterday. Now Trump is going to maybe say, we're going to wind down the war. Well, winding down the war, it's kind of like, these corporations. Well, we have a phasing out of red dye and all of them. Okay, that's not going to, you think Iran's going to stop pummeling Israel and the Gulf states? And do you think Iran is going to trust whatever the hell you say when you're sending over a third aircraft carrier? U.S. and Israeli strikes hit the Russian Orthodox Church in Tehran. Iran received intelligence input that several high-ranking intelligence officers were present in an apartment in Tel Aviv. Oh, well, and they got it. Well, like Trump said, in war, people die. Russian Chechen combat units officially declare they will deploy to Iran to fight alongside Iranian forces if the U.S. launches a ground invasion. Jihad against American power. It was important how we behaved, on the world scene. Poland rejects unofficial U.S. request to redeploy Patriot batteries to West Asia. And this here, Turkey stands with Iran. An attack by the United States and Israel, an attack by two madmen. One madman named Trump, the other Netanyahu. Trump is a Faroa. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Netanyahu is Führer. They're both Führers. Iran standing up to the Führer and the. Why do I forget how to pronounce some things? Does that happen? Am I alone in that? I can't stand it. We stand with Iran. We are together with Iran, a Muslim country. Iran is our neighbor, a country we've had no problems, and neither did we. No problems. Here is Erdogan, who, yeah, Israel, you will pay the consequences, and you're paying them.
The Middle East is boiling at this moment, and this Zionist Israel, as is known, has killed hundreds of thousands of people. I have no doubt that it will pay the price for it, God willing. May the Lord make the festival of Ramadan an occasion for liberation and rebirth for the entire Islamic world.
Oh, even an Iranian nomad with his hunting rifle shot down 5 U.S. drones.
دیگه شکار چارپا نارنگه شکار پهباد صهیونیستی آمریکایی هرنگ امروز تاریخ 8 فروردین 405 5 تا پهباد صهیونیستی آمریکایی.
He's saying revenge for the martyrs. Declaring through tears, this is retribution for the blood of the daughters of the elementary school, the children who were killed. Now, this is Tasnim, their Twitter page. And they say over 200 U.S. air crew killed in Iranian strike. Well, we're not getting the right numbers, okay? We're just not. So this air base military base in Saudi Arabia, well, we know casualty cover-up, Pentagon's hiding U.S. losses under Trump in the Middle East. Pentagon has sent outdated statements on the number of U.S. troops killed and wounded. And they're in the hundreds. And the link is in the chat. And we're crazy for just sitting back and not doing what is necessary to get rid of the evil that is destroying all of us. Destroying all of us. Scott Bessent confirms the U.S. will seize control of the Strait of Hormuz because we're Americans and we just get to do that. And we're Israelis and we get to seize control of other countries. Concise explanation of Iran's asymmetric war strategy, a strategy, yeah, that is winning.
40 years ago, Iran realized something terrifying. It realized that it could never defeat America in a traditional war. So instead, it prepared for a totally different kind of war. To understand this strategy, we have to go back to the 1980s. At that time, Iran was fighting one of the longest and deadliest wars in modern Middle Eastern history, the Iran-Iraq War. For 8 brutal years, from 1980 to 1988, Iran and Iraq fought a conflict that killed hundreds of thousands of people and devastated both countries. During this war, Iran learned a painful lesson that modern warfare had changed. Countries with advanced technology, powerful air forces, and strong allies had a massive advantage. Iran realized that if it ever faced a superpower like the United States, fighting a traditional war with tanks, jets, and large armies would be extremely difficult. So Iranian military planners began thinking differently. Instead of preparing to defeat stronger enemies in a direct battle, they started designing a strategy that could make any war extremely costly for the opponent. This is known as asymmetric warfare. In simple terms, asymmetric warfare means fighting a stronger enemy by avoiding its strengths and attacking its weaknesses.
Okay, so I am going to post the link so that you can watch the full video of 3 minutes and 36 seconds. If you don't know how Iran is actually winning this war and want to know, but I also want to post the links to Tim Truth on Trump's White House keeps foreshadowing Jericho, Operation Blackjack, false flag, nuke, tyranny. And I may play some of this tomorrow. Very interesting. And yeah, you see that right here? What's going on with Hegseth wearing, in pretty much every single day, a flag with vertical red stripes? Well, Click the link, find out, but also, is Operation Blackjack the plan? Martial law, speech, clampdown, mass arrests after false flag nukes? Could be. Well, lots going on. And I don't tune in to this guy speaking and addressing the nation. I just see the clips that are posted, the little bits of clips. But yeah, just think that's what you have to look forward to. You can watch Trump talk about how great he is. The frequencies hitting. Oh, and they sure have ramped. In 2 hours, they've made this. There was a little bit of a thunderstorm in Oklahoma and right here at the corner of the panhandle of Texas. Wow, they have enlarged this whole, I guess, weather front. But look at the frequencies hitting it right here. Okay. Oh man, be safe, everybody. And unfortunately, once again, severe weather comes at night. Frequencies here in Pennsylvania. Well, it's very obvious. And let's just see how many. We've got 11 active severe weather warnings for New Jersey now, Oklahoma, and Texas. And I'll post the link again to the alert page. Be safe, everybody. Help out those who are hurting. Help out those who are in need. That's the way we make our country a little bit more moral. How about it? Yeah. Thank you for showing up. I hope to see you tomorrow. I can't post on Never Lose Truth for a week. So thank you for all of you who have subscribed and knew I was here. Good night, good luck, and ciao. See you tomorrow? Question mark? Hope so.